Hey YouTube! Okay, so I was in the middle of editing Airborne Death. I just finished the video on the Vivitar Jam Bag. Uploading it. Well, yeah, that's basically what's been going on. And I decided to take a break from staring at pixels on my computer screen. Seriously, masking is a bother. If you're not familiar with masking, that's where you, like, right now... Oh. I see the shadow of my phone on the thing. Right now, if I wanted to, I could, frame by frame, draw a line around me, and then I would effectively not have the background, and I could put whatever I want behind there. It's kind of like green screening, but when you didn't have a green screen behind your whatever. Annoying. Hope you guys can hear me good way out there. Probably decent enough, I hope. Talking relatively loud here. So I want to talk a little bit about demonetization, and also I should have added this in the title. I'll change it in the archived version. But the future of Let's Talk. Really quickly, that's going to be a short thing to talk about here. It's a little bit chilly out here. So I've decided that for Let's Talk, like with my new selfie stick, I can mount my camera to it. And cool thing is, there's also the female version of the, so it's for that same mounting thing. So I could mount this selfie stick onto a tripod if I wanted to, and make even taller for my camera, or my phone. Which this makes me, nobody's watching, which is totally fine. I'm not worried about that. You guys will see it when you see it. But, so that's something I can do if I want to. There's some possibilities I've had in my mind with that, maybe. But I've kind of decided I should just do all my Let's Talk on my phone. That, even though the quality doesn't look as nice, and there's potential network issues to run into, like I'm running on my cellular network. I always do that. Especially if you're walking, you don't want to worry about disconnecting and reconnecting Wi-Fi's. That wouldn't work for this. But even at home, I've switched over because connection there is a little bit spotty sometimes. I mean, it works. We have internet 95% of the time. But even then, sometimes it's slow. And like, most of the time when I'm doing Let's Talk on my phone, like I've done lately, I will have poor connection listed. But at home I had poor connection, and then it went to bad connection, and so but this is consistent poor connection if I have that. So I've decided just to do it all this way, because aside from those issues there, this will make it easier on me. I don't have to worry about uploading the final video once it's done. I can do these, and the plan for this was like do it in between work, whenever I'm out for a walk, stuff like that, and things will go relatively smooth and simple, and I can just quickly upload it when I get back. Or because my camera has Wi-Fi, if I record in the MP4 format, which I upload to YouTube in that anyways, I can then, what's the word? Yeah, I can then just, I can send the file via Wi-Fi over to my phone and upload it that way, and then delete the file when I'm done with it. But I would want to probably keep a backup copy, so I'd probably transfer it to my computer. But this will be a little bit easier. I won't have backups of this unless I go download them. But so far, I like this, but I do have the selfie stick for use with my nice Sony HX90V camera if I need to. So now let's hop on to the main topic here, which is demonetization. Yeah. This is something that doesn't completely affect me, but I understand its effects as a greater whole on YouTube. Probably not as good as other people do. This is one of those things where I have a basic idea of what is happening and what could happen if it goes even worse, but I don't know the full effects of it. I'm not educated enough, smart enough, do the math enough to really say what percentages will happen. Oh wow. I haven't been walking down this way in a while. They've finished that house over there and it looks nice. you guys can't see as much as I can, which is totally fine. Probably good. This, just for, this used to be like a little park area, and then they've split it off. So there's the original house, and then they've made a new house where it was just a house with a big trees and stuff area that we used to have ward events in, and, Anyways, enough of that house. But, so, I'm going to bring this just a little bit closer. Yeah. I like the length, but it's dark, so I want to make sure you guys can hear me. So I'm going to come like that. We'll do that. And now I'll just leave it full. It probably won't make that much. I don't know what I haven't actually tried this on the selfie stick with my phone. It makes me a bit nervous because my phone has to be outside of its case. Although it is holding in pretty good. Not super worried about it sliding with the way things are situated there. Anyway, so it's something. Demonetization doesn't really affect me, even in the long run. Because right now I have 170 subscribers, and I get about 20 views per video. Which, like, seriously, guys, why did you subscribe if you're not actively going to watch? But I kind of know why. Because if I go and look at my subscriptions, there are people that I subscribe to where I'm like, who is that? Oh, yeah, that guy. Yeah, I remember subscribing to this person, but you don't actively get notifications for them. It kind of ends up being the people that you really, really like, that interest you the most, that you end up watching more and going back to. And so if I go back on my subscriptions, I'll find people, oh, yeah, I remember that, and I'll go back and watch them. The sad part is, too, when you catch people kind of in the middle. Not in the middle, but, like, you catch them now, and it's like, wow, this guy's awesome, and he has years of content that I would love to watch, and I probably will slowly over time, but there's all the new content he's creating, and so kind of what I want to do some point, not anytime soon, I'm too busy with my own projects and stuff for you guys, but something that I want to do is, like, okay, it's a Saturday, or some day during the week when I don't work and have anything else going on, I'm going to binge this YouTuber. Grab some popcorn or other snacks, because I don't like the normal popcorn that you guys would like. We'll talk about that later, that's another topic, but just sit down and binge them. And yeah, so I understand why. But I think it's interesting that it's such a far ratio. There's another YouTuber I recently discovered who I have subscribed to right away. I haven't started actively watching her content, but I've seen a few videos, and to me they seem good. Nothing to deter me away. Really, I would say that she is relatively clean. Yeah, it's. I want to say her name is Shaylin. I don't know. Anyways, yeah. But I've immediately subscribed. But the interesting thing that way she ties in is she has 1.5 million subscribers. And the few videos that I've watched and looking at some of the others, she's getting 300, maybe 500 views per video. That's about the same ratio that I'm getting. And so that just kind of has me curious as to how does that happen? That's what I'm wondering. And how can I get more of you guys to actually want to tune back and watch? You wouldn't subscribe, the only reason I can conceivably think of for subscribing to something that you don't like is if you don't have your notifications on and you're just subscribing because, or something you're not really interested in, because you're subscribing because they support something that you support. Oh, here we go, this works for an example. For me, I might subscribe to a YouTube channel that I'm not really interested in their content. They're talking about something that doesn't completely interest me, and the way they do it doesn't captivate me. But I might subscribe and leave notifications off because they're clean, so they support that initiative, and they're overall just trying to be a force for good on the internet. And in that case, I might subscribe so that they get whatever behind the, under the hood support that will give them. And then in addition to that, but then I'm also not getting notified of stuff. So that could be going on some, but I highly doubt it. I think most people subscribe if they actually like the channel and they actually want to see more and potentially be notified of it. And I like the idea of having the bell icon. So you can choose who you actually want your phone to buzz for when they upload a video. But then you can also have quick access to a bunch of other people that you might check back only every once in a while. Which, how often do you look at your subscription box? I, almost don't. I let the notifications and the YouTube main page kind of deliver for me content that I find interesting from people I've subscribed to, people that I haven't subscribed to, and that's what I do when I'm not editing my videos, when I kind of want to wind down for the evening, stuff like that. I was catching up on those things. But so for me, demonetization, because I'm small, it kind of doesn't affect me, and it kind of doesn't affect my full-on future plan, because what I finally have decided on that I really want to do growing up is, movie making stuff. Specifically video editor, but I can cover a lot of different fields to maximize my higher ability and give me a little more jobs and things. Because video editing is something that I would like to do as kind of the main thing I'm looking into. But I can also operate a boom pole. I can operate a boom pole. I know a little bit of special effects, but not enough to really go into that yet. I can also, set up lighting. I do acting on my channel, so I could do acting. If the acting abilities that I deliver is totally fine with you, then I'll be more than happy to be in your project. I mean, of course I do have to prove the part. It has to be something that I would be okay with doing. But yeah, I could do acting too. I'm not great at it, but I'm totally fine having that as an option. And just keeping a lot of different options open. But so for me, I see it as I'm going to be running my YouTube channel and also have a job video editing, doing editing videos for somebody else, or doing some other video job for somebody else. That is kind of the plan. Now you do, and even if, at this point right now, I work at Dollar Tree, and so at this point, if something crazy were to happen, and my YouTube channel were to take off, and I was able to support myself off of my YouTube channel, I would still work at Dollar Tree. Extra money, it's a job that I like, but mainly just the extra money. Why not? If I was making loads of money on YouTube. Step off to the side here because there's a car coming. Seemed a little bit fast for this road here. So, yeah. That is something that would be nice. I would still do both, and in the future, I'm still going to do both. If my YouTube channel did take off like that, I would possibly consider, I would actually seriously consider quitting my job at the dollar store if it was making enough that I could do that, and there would be benefits to it. But if I can do both at the same time, then I'm going to do both at the same time. Seriously. More money. And not because I'm being greedy and selfish, I'm thinking of the future, you know. I'm thinking of all the money that I can save up for my mission right now, save for some for college, save for a future family, have money for a rainy day in case things get crazy and I have to spend a little more money. I want to be that, I don't really go to the hospital. I have a lot of South of modern medicine beliefs. But so just for me, but just as an example, I would want to be that person that has a rainy day savings where he goes into the hospital, and for some of the average, more common stuff that you can incur at the hospital, I already have it covered because of that. So it doesn't affect me yet. And I do monetize all my videos because it will add up over time. YouTube pays out every $100 that you make. And I'm at $35 probably, and I know that it will build up as the 20 some odd people of my 170 subscribers get on and actually watch my YouTube videos. As they watch the new videos that come out, it will build up, and then I'll reach 100 and get paid $100, and that will go straight towards my YouTube channel. New equipment, maybe buying some props for the next short film, who knows what, but I'm going to try and put that earnings back to the YouTube channel. It won't go towards personal life unless I have to, unless there's literally nothing else on the channel that I can spend it on. I'm just quickly taking my watch off, and I'm going to put it back on outside of my... Let me set you guys down in the leaf for a second here. I just want to put my smartwatch on the outside of my sweatshirt so it's easy access, and if I need to I can see who's texting me. There we go. Reaching my heart activity for the week, guys. Just told me on my smartwatch. Cool. Anyways, so I monetize because I know it will help, but I'm not looking to it as my main source of income. If it became my main source, or big enough that it could be, sure, that would be really nice, but I still see myself as doing editing for someone else. I don't know, there's something about it that just calls to me. Something, and maybe it's because I haven't tried it yet, but it's something that just says I would like to take instructions from somebody else and edit it the way that they want and try that out. I don't know. But for other people, it really, really does affect them. Big time. They live off of YouTube. And I totally understand that there are certain types of content that advertisers might not want their advertisements to be shown alongside, or, you know, and I get that. But the other thing too is that some of the stuff that is kind of listed under what a video can be flagged for when you go and flag a video, or there was a post, this is kind of interesting and ties into this. There's a post I read recently. It was on a Twitter-like website that was anonymous or something, but like Twitter. But this guy was basically saying that he had another guy who said, "I'm a viewer of your channel. I want to tell you about something. I recently decided to work for this company that was hired by Google to do some search engine optimization. But in reality, it turns out that we were demonetizing videos." And they said, here's a big list of stuff that they can be demonetized on. Here's the tall list of it. It's on, and they showed some screenshots that were quote unquote leaked out of what they can flag for. And another big key point here, trying to just summarize this, but another key point is the like if you wouldn't feel comfortable watching the video in public, do whatever you feel is right, demonetize it. It's kind of what the company said to it too. Another thing too is there was another really popular YouTuber who got in touch with this guy. Everybody's anonymous in this post, and he said that he was at a meeting with a bunch of popular YouTubers, and what's the word? And at the meeting, the YouTube CEO wasn't present, but they said they were basically kind of wondering what they should do with toxic YouTubers. And they listed off some channels. One of the listed off channels was Grade A Under A. And I actually don't watch any of the channels listed, but I've heard of Grade A Under A before. So I looked it up, and I heard some swearing, and I left quickly. And interestingly, the description of his channel was using swearing, I'm glad that you finally found my YouTube channel. And I do animated cartoons. And it's safe. Just like YouTube is safe for kids to watch, right? No, not YouTube, sorry. Minecraft is safe for kids to watch. And I kind of understand that. I would feel a little bit better about my kids watching Minecraft videos where maybe people were swearing just because they missed a jump on a parkour map or something than I would some of the other things that are possibly out there on YouTube. I still would like them to avoid it, and I kind of do myself. Every once in a while, I'm not going to say names here because I really don't like the idea of pointing people out this way. But, I mean, there are a few YouTube channels I watch where they swear, and I prefer it if they are swearing because, wow, that was really amazing. Let's do that cool experiment again and see what results we get. It just looks so cool. As opposed to swearing because you messed up. It comes in second place as far as disliking it. And then finally, last is just swearing because you think it's funny. Because why not? Shock value. That I really don't like at all. So... that lady just said, what are you guys barking at to her dogs who are down off there? You can't see, but there's houses off there. Maybe you saw a flicker of somebody's light. But, so, and the little bit that I looked up of grading under A, I don't know why he's considered toxic. I don't know why any of those channels listed were considered toxic. And if you think it's because of, like, the swearing and the way that he puts it in, the thing that gets me is, so to finish off that post, they said, well, okay, we're not going to kick them off of the platform, and, you know, we're not going to do much of anything, we'll just kind of leave it be right now, is what they decided upon. They didn't come to a real conclusion, but then this top YouTuber believes that maybe the demonetization is kind of a way to choke them out, so that they can no longer produce content like that. And I think YouTube needs to be open. There do need to be some guidelines and rules about this whole thing. We need to have it like... the whole world's going crazy downhill fast as far as my beliefs are going for how things are being clean and stuff. And I'm not trying to be mean to any one particular person, okay? But if you put yourself in my shoes, it's a lot easier to run into fart jokes and even worse stuff than it was a few years ago, is all I'm saying, okay? And that's something that I personally don't necessarily want to see. If you want to see it, that's okay, do whatever you want, but for me, that kind of sort of affects me, in a way. But so we're going that way, but I feel like some of the stuff that is on YouTube's list of things that might get a video demonetized, I'm kind of sort of also seeing in some of their own advertisements for YouTube Red series. Like, I think the series was called Threesome. I saw an ad for that today while I was watching a little bit of YouTube, and it was kind of dirty and had some inappropriate things that made me not want to watch it. But, ooh, I have to be careful. It looks like there's a bunch of ice down here. Yep, that's ice. So it kind of, you know, but so it feels to me like YouTube is saying, hey, we don't want, we're going to demonetize it because advertisers don't want this, but yet they're putting out ads that are, I feel like, might fit that category for some of the content that they're putting out with YouTube Red and stuff. There was actually, I was watching a video by Captain Sparkles where he was looking at the Reddit, the subreddit, software gore. And one of the posts was that an ad for a Google tablet or something had been flagged by YouTube, which Google owns. It had been flagged by their system as spam, which is kind of sort of ironic and funny. And yeah, I'm gonna kind of sort of stop here for a minute and finish my thoughts. Probably go back the way I came so I don't have to cross a busy street. But I feel one second, there's some, ooh. Front of a TV maybe? I don't know. I saw another TV down here years ago that had been thrown off the edge of this bridge and smashed. So anyways, so I feel like that kind of sort of contradicts things as far as what their policies and stuff are, and it's a little bit... Is that ice? Nope. It's a piece of plastic. So I feel like that they kind of contradict themselves a little bit. But I totally understand the advertisers not wanting to be put in certain types of content. There we go. Because, like, personally for me, I wouldn't necessarily want my ad on a channel that was kind of sort of rude. Because the fact that it might look like I'm associating with them. There are some really dirty YouTube gamers out there, so if I ever did a ad for my channel, and I kind of wouldn't want it put there, but I kind of wouldn't mind it. As long as I didn't look like I was specifically affiliated by or associated with the content that I was being put on top of, I would be okay. Like, if my ad was something like, hey YouTube, this is my wonderful YouTube channel, it's totally clean, I would really encourage you guys to check it out, this is some of what I do, I hope you guys like it. By the way, I'm in no way associated with whatever this ad gets put on top of whatever video. If I could do something like that and people really know that I'm not associated with the other content, I would totally be fine. I might even put that at the beginning, like this content is not associated with the video that it's being displayed on top of. I wouldn't mind doing that. But if it might look like I'm associated with it, then yeah, image is really important to companies, to me, to a lot of people. So I understand why they might want to do that, and it really causes confusion. The other thing I need to touch on is Patreon. There are several YouTube channels that I would totally love to give a little bit of money to, and because of the number, I'd probably give $1 each and then end up spending like $5 a month, which for me is tough because I'm also putting that money, you know, towards my own life. I don't make a lot of money, but also towards you guys on my YouTube channel. I'm putting it there. So it makes me wonder, like, you know, what was the thing? Oh yeah. So for me, it would be tough to donate, but I'd love to. But then it's weird. It's like, oh, this one YouTube channel that I like has a Patreon, which is cool. And then this other YouTube channel that I like has a Patreon. Oh, and look, the first YouTube channel I like is a Patreon supporter of the second YouTube channel I like. Well, how does that work? If you have to rely on a large chunk of your viewers to give you money so you can keep doing the show that you like, then how do you have any money to give to the other channel? I'm not saying stop doing that, it just seems a little weird. If that was me, I would personally say, hey, I am actually making, thanks to you Patreons, I am making more than I need to run this YouTube channel. And it's nice, I have a little bit for personal life, I have a little more for personal life. I can, you know, I could go see a movie or do a little bit of extra fun things for myself that I wouldn't normally do, but I would absolutely love it if you guys would go and, you know, you're giving me like maybe $5 a month. How about you only give me $3 a month and then give those $2 over to this other YouTube channel that I like, instead of me going and giving him some. Because that has a potential of benefiting him even more, or them, but also I don't know, it just feels weird to be giving something to somebody else when you're kind of relying on the same system that they are. I don't know, it feels weird. And so, you know, but I like the idea of Patreon. I just don't do it. I mean, even if they said, hey, guess what, I have to have only pay now for my videos, I would probably be a little bit annoyed. I'd be like, why are you doing this to us? But at the same time, I would also, I probably wouldn't go and pay for that content because I don't really have money right now. with all the stuff that I'm saving for and trying to run my own channel. So, yeah, but Patreon is great. There are a lot of other services popping up that I don't know exactly how they'll affect things. Like, I've heard about this thing by Linus Media Group called Floatplane, Linus Tech Tips or Tech Quickie. Good tech YouTube channel that I like watching a lot, but it's like, it was just a subscription service where you can go see their videos before they're released on YouTube. But now they're opening it up to other people, and that got me thinking, would I want to go onto a service like that as well? And I kind of feel the other reason too for staying with YouTube is the largest viewership is kind of on YouTube. Those services could grow. Maybe they'll surpass YouTube, but it's going to take a while. YouTube is the core of internet videos. They're one of the biggest services out there, and arguably one of the best because of features. If we overlook the demonetization problems, they're one of the best because of some features that they have. All these great features they packed in, and the work that they put into it. At times we haven't liked them because of the changes that they made, and we're like, hey, we're making changes. If you don't like it, you can go back to the old version. And then, these changes are permanent now, which I understand why. It makes it easier to not have to support two versions of YouTube. You just have one nice uniform version. But basically, they're the biggest platform out there that I'm going to be sticking with for a long time because they're just so big. And going somewhere else, would I really get as many people following me on that somewhere else? Would I get enough of you guys to jump over there and start watching? If I did do something like that, I would probably do it simultaneously. But it would also add more work for me. I don't necessarily want to have to worry about 2 websites to have my content uploaded to. That would be a little bit of a bother, you know? So, yeah. But I think it's maybe good for some of these places to go over to other services. I might watch people on other services if they moved over there. That's another thing that makes it a little bit tricky too. It's like, oh hey, so one of my favorite YouTubers has now moved over to this other service because YouTube is giving them too many issues and problems, and they can't, and so they can't necessarily keep going, and they have to use this other service. I'm cool with that, but how do I, what's the word? But now, how do I keep getting notified of both? How do I get notifications when they get another video? Well, I have to make an account for a second website, which I kind of don't want to do because I feel like I have too many accounts. And then also, the best way for me to get notified is like on my smartphone. I'm on YouTube regularly enough that I will just end up seeing the content. If I turn all notifications off, I'd end up seeing some of the big stuff on my homepage and watch it. Cool. But if I really wanted to get notified, then I have to have a second app on my phone, which I'm running out of space on my phone. I literally right now do not have enough room to put another app on my phone that would be big enough, possibly, to be a secondary service that I could watch content on and get notifications for. So that's another issue too, is not wanting a second account for these other services, still wanting to get notified, but not necessarily having lots of space on your phone or whatever, which for me, I've got the 16 gigabyte OnePlus X, and it's cool, and there are a lot of apps on there that I value so much that are more important to me than a secondary content service. So that's kind of an issue too, is the second account and the whole space of it. I'm not against it, I just think that could be a potential issue, which is partly why I'm sticking with YouTube. The other thing too is, YouTube seriously needs to get its act together. I actually had one of my videos demonetized. Yes, if you go back to one of my recent videos where I'm talking about what I'm going to do with old content, it's literally me in front of the background in my room that I've made that looks cool. Oh. A big, huge chunk of glass on the ground, almost like a glass crystal. I'm wondering if it's from that TV screen that smashed down. I think the TV screen would be thinner. I don't know what that's from. But, hey, yay, they put this area under surveillance. That's cool. Now, I'm going to have to do... It's going to look a little sideways awkward. Oh, this, I need to... There we go. Right there, see? that's cool because this area was known for getting a lot of graffiti down here. And so I think that will help combat the graffiti down here. I'm getting a little bit sidetracked here. So to finish up on that, I'll say what I was going to say afterwards because that's totally unrelated. So the video is just me standing in front of my nice backdrop in my room that I've created, talking about how for old videos, not all my old videos, but just for most of my old videos where it's relevant to know what date they were filmed on, there's just going to be a date card in the beginning, a little text on screen that comes up and says something like April 25, 2017, and then it goes away and we jump right into the video as it was originally planned. That video got demonetized for a little bit. It's back on the monetization, but when I set it for monetization, it got demonetized, and they didn't specify why, but it said, hey, if you think this is wrong, you can click here, and so I clicked the button, and it basically was, I don't remember the exact numbers, but it said something like, in order for this video to get human review, it's going to have to get like 17,000 views in 1 week before that happens. And I kind of like clicked it a few times hoping something magical would happen. And that was kind of the status of that. But then it did get put back on for monetization. I'm wondering how that happened. That video literally has no reason to be demonetized unless like you hate the things on my bedroom backdrop, which are like seriously, find some legitimate reason that you would hate that backdrop and not want to have your advertisement played before a video of me talking in front of that backdrop. Because I don't know exactly how that the automated system looks for what to be demonetized, but I have heard from Captain Sparkles, Jordan Marin, in one of his videos, he mentioned that it looks at the subtitles, auto-generated subtitles, to see if we can find things that should be demonetized for, and I think language falls under one of them, so he's had to start using variations of the words so that he doesn't get demonetized. Which, I want to give props to him. It seems like he's relatively good at that. I haven't watched one of his Minecraft videos in a while, so I don't know. But to me, it seems like he's relatively good at switching over and using those, which is props to you, Jordan, for being able to switch over nicely and use the alternatives. Just because it shows that you're relatively good at forming a new habit, sort of. And that's more a complicated topic for a later video. But yeah, so I feel like it's, I don't know, that's basically my thoughts. I don't have much more to say, but YouTube really does need to, I think my TV theory could be right, because here's another big, or maybe a table. Like maybe someone threw a table off the edge. Ooh, I just dropped that and it broke into more pieces. Not fun. So yeah, I feel like it's I feel like it's kind of sort of, it's just a big mess. YouTube needs to get their act together and not be demonetizing things. Oh, another thing I can mention in here too is a channel called Cody's Lab. Really great sciencey channel. He has a lot of cool sciencey videos and extracting metals and things like that. It's really cool. He's actually here in Utah, quite a ways north of me, up above Salt Lake somewhere. I don't know exactly where, but he's out there somewhere because he went to the U. But he was for a little while taken down, and did a good video describing this. Basically, he says that if you get a video flagged, not too big of a deal, but it puts you on the list, kind of. Second video gets flagged, you can't you can't upload, I think. third video that gets flagged, then your channel is taken down. But you can get it repealed at any one of these stages. So when it gets taken down for the third flag, it's not gone completely. You can still get it put back up if you submit for a review and they look at it and say, okay, yeah, this was totally unrealistic. And he said that his videos could have been flagged, like he did a video on fruit flies in a microwave, which is really, really cool. You should go watch it, because basically the fruit flies aren't big enough to hit both ends of the microwave shape, and so they don't get fried. And so people could be like, oh, microwaving fruit flies in a microwave is mean, animal cruelty. And then YouTube's automated system might be like, yeah, that's legitimate. This video is now going to be flagged. So that's kind of an issue, and it's a mess that really affects a lot of people. A lot of people are getting demonetized and they can't keep creating content. And oh, also, if I were to get a Patreon, I would, like, if I knew that people would support me with a Patreon, I would totally get a Patreon, help make this channel's content better, get some of the things that I want to make things just work better on this channel. Yeah, but I should stop here. I'm done. Those are kind of sort of my thoughts on it. YouTube really needs to you guys need to get your act together and kind of fix this whole thing to allow people to keep creating stuff. You're kind of coming towards I think you're going towards a point where you're going to have less profit shares and margins. Oh yeah. I keep thinking of details, I keep forgetting. Another thing too that to throw in here, if you guys don't know much about this, haven't heard about this, is there a lot of channels will do like baked-in advertisements, kind of, where they're sponsored by a certain place. You know, like sponsored by Audible. If you go to audible.com/my YouTube channel name, you can get 30-day free trial and a free audiobook, which I would love to do some of those too. That would be cool. I wouldn't mind getting a little bit of money or something from that. But YouTube doesn't get a cut from that, and so they're like, ooh, we don't like that one bit. And they're kind of for a while they were cracking down on it, but it's still going on so much that I think that they've kind of accepted it now. I'm going to talk, and I'll do another separate video much shorter about this to see what you guys think. But one more thing that could really help here is I was recently on a Facebook page called the Utah Actors and Filmmakers Facebook page. And one of the things that somebody mentioned on there, they posted a video they did about how to get onto Amazon. And talking with people in the comments, advantages of going with Amazon, you get paid a little more from ad revenue and just in general from them. And you have some options. So you can have the video on Amazon available for free, but people are going to see advertisements in front of the video. And then if they want to, they can buy like an Amazon Prime account and then see that video without advertisements. Or you can have it where they have to buy the video. No questions asked. You got to go buy it, Prime or not. You have to buy it. Or I suppose there's probably just for Prime members in there as well. But you get more ad revenue from that. Now, Amazon isn't a good option for a lot of creators on YouTube because therefore short films and series is what they are for. So you won't find like tech videos on there about how to optimize your computer and a lot of the other things. You won't see, just for example, you wouldn't see Matthias unboxing strange dollar store products and Amazon products on there at all. It's not for that. So I have thought, maybe possibly, not for Airborne Death, but for future short films, if you guys like the idea, I might put them on Amazon if Amazon will let me in. I'll put them on there with, as a for free. So you can watch them. I'll get a little bit more from it to help the channel because it's on the platform that supposedly pays you more. But then, when everything is said and done, and then I'll post a video on my channel, like a trailer will go on my YouTube channel, and it'll say, everybody, go over to Amazon, to this link, and watch my latest short film. So everything else would still be on YouTube, because it kind of has to, but I might do that in the future. So those are kind of my, a little bit more rambly than usual thoughts. I just kind of wanted to weigh in on the issue and say, a lot of other people have said stuff like this as well. And I agree with most of them. There are a lot of issues and problems just rising up from this. seriously gonna really change the landscape and causing problems for people. And oh yeah, last thing that I will say is I just realized too, there could also be the issue of, like YouTube kind of sort of has a system for videos getting demonetized, like we mentioned, and it's not perfect, but what if you could granularly pick, like, I have an advertisement for my company, and I could say I don't want it if the video has swearing in there. And so my ad won't show on YouTube channels where their videos have swearing in them. But then there's the issue, like if they don't add a scan for the whole entire channel, it's just per video, which is most likely to happen. Well, but what if I don't want it to appear on a channel where somebody swears, even if they're not swearing in that one video? I just don't want it to be associated with them at all because they swear in their other videos. And what if the computer system messes up and doesn't do things right? And so then my ad gets shown on top of videos that are swearing when the computer system doesn't catch the swearing. Well, I'm not sure I want to invest in that system and have my company advertisement being played alongside videos that swear. I think that's an issue too, is do people really trust the system to make their content not appear on places they don't want it to? Anyways, I'm going to stop here because that's just rambling on at this point and coming up with new ideas for things. Kind of what Let's Talk is, but this is extra rambly. But no, seriously, guys, 170 subscribers and average 20 people watching per video. Do something about it, okay? Watch more. Click the bell icon. Something. I want to see more people actually watching and knowing that you guys like this content. Share it with your friends and family. I want to become more popular. Not just because I want to be popular, because I'm trying to spread goodness around the internet and provide a nice, clean place for people to come watch some wonderful, wholesome content. And when I say wholesome, I mean like super seriously crazy wholesome. Like slightly crude humor you're not going to find on this channel. Like, there's one video on that, but it's to serve a purpose of telling a point. I wasn't trying to make people laugh their heads off with how different ages react to crude humor in music. I was trying to prove, in media. I was trying to prove a point. I will see you guys later. I'm going to go back and stare at pixels on my computer screen doing more masking. I don't like this part.